I have a question for you. Are you neglecting your feet? Welcome to Gentle Yoga with Jan. I'm Jan, and today I'm going to show you in this foot loving yoga series a few things that you can do to help not only your feet but the rest of your body with the use of a tennis ball or another ball. So grab a tennis ball if you have one, a chair if you think you might need help with balancing while you're standing. Slip into something comfortable and I'll see you on the mat. So our feet are something that we often neglect. They're the furthest part of our body from our eyes and our brain. We shove them in shoes that are uncomfortable. We don't get them out in the winter time to walk around barefoot. And whatever is going on in your feet is going on in your body. Most of you are familiar with reflexology and all the acupressure points in your feet. Well, today I'm going to show you how you can use the ball, a tennis ball, to work out those places of tension and stress, stuck and tight fascia, and help and move the lymphatic system, which is really good to do, especially this time of year. So I'm going to show you a few exercises using the ball on your feet. Grab a chair or something to hold on to. Sometimes you won't necessarily need that, but sometimes it is nice to just have something to hold on to while you're working on one foot. Just a few things before we get started. If you haven't worked the feet like this, there might be some really tender places in your feet, and that is okay. You are in charge of how much pressure you're putting on your foot. It doesn't have to be painful to be effective. So some of these places on your feet might be really, really tender, especially if you haven't done this before, and that's okay. You can even just place the foot on the ball, and if you're okay there, apply a little bit more pressure and notice what you're feeling. You are in charge of the pressure. You are in charge of what's going on. So no need to be painful here. Find the middle part of your foot, place the ball under there, and let's apply pressure on and off. So just leaning into it. If you're already feeling some sensation, just tapping the ball on and off, moving it on and off. If you don't feel too much, go ahead and lean into the ball and really apply some juicy pressure there. Now hold it. Take a deep breath in through the nose and a nice exhale through your mouth. These breaths are important as well. Breathe in and exhale. Let's move the ball up to the big toe joint. To find that joint, just pull your toes back. We're not putting the ball right on the toe itself, but just in the joint there. Apply pressure on and off. Hold it, take a nice deep breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Bring it to the next toe joint. Slide it over just a little bit. Apply pressure on and off. Hold, take a deep breath. Bring it to the next toe joint, on and off. Hold and breathe. Bring it to the next toe. On and off. Hold. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And now to the baby toe joint. Applying pressure on and off. We have a lot of different reflexology points in our feet, and you might feel a lot of sensation in different places. The places on our feet, just like acupressure points in our hands and around our ears, they correlate to a part of our body. So if you're feeling sensation or tenderness in one part of your body, it will indicate that there's something going on or some stress going on in another part of your body. So you can check out our reflexology chart on Google and find those places if you want to go into that a little deeper. Bring the ball back to the big toe joint, and while you're applying pressure now, apply pressure, glide it out to the baby toe. While you're applying pressure, and then release the pressure, lift up your toe, bring the ball back to the big toe joint, apply pressure, and glide it towards the outside, lift it up, Bring it back to the big toe joint, apply pressure, and glide. And wiggle it out. Place the ball now underneath the big toe joint. We're going to go back up there, except we're going to now glide towards the heel while we're applying pressure. So apply pressure underneath on the big toe joint and then glide it towards the heel. Now doing this, you might feel little crystal-y things under your feet. It might feel like you're rolling over some rock salt or crystals there. That is stuck, stress, dehydrated connective tissue that we're going to work out, create some fluid exchange, and really help hydrate the tissue in our feet. So go back up to the next toe joint, apply pressure, and glide it towards the heel. Really common to be tender here, so be light if you need to. Lift it up, bring it back to the next toe joint, apply pressure, glide it towards the heel. Next toe joint, apply pressure, gliding it towards the heel. Lift it up, the next toe joint, apply pressure, and glide it towards the heel. Wiggle it out. Roll it over the whole foot. So this next place that we're going to put the ball is a common place for a lot of tenderness. We hold a lot of tension and stress in this tendon that's right, these tendons that are right in front of the heel there. You'll feel them, perhaps. So shove the ball right in front of the heel and now start applying a little bit more pressure on and off. This can be a really tender place, especially if you haven't done this before. And be gentle with yourself. Hold pressure now on. While you're applying pressure, keep the toes on the floor and pivot the heel side to side right in front of the heel. This can be a very tender place for some. You might feel like you're rolling over some railroad tracks there, a couple pencils. That's the tight tendons that you're feeling. Wiggle it around. Bring the ball back up underneath the ball of the foot. Curl the toes like you're trying to grab the ball, and then release. Pull the toes back. Lean into the ball of the foot, curl the toes like you're trying to grab the ball, and then release. One more time, curl and release. Good, wiggle it around. Let's do a couple more places. Right behind the big toe joint. Apply pressure on and off. Hold and breathe. Bring it to the outside of the foot, just behind the baby toe joint, on the side of the foot, right there, on and off. Take a deep breath and release. Good. Wiggle it around. And you might be aware, just take a moment to be aware of those places that are more tender than the other, and that might be a good place to go back to, hold a little bit longer, or work it a little bit more frequently. Now, to see about how we've affected not only our feet but the rest of the body, I'm going to have you stand off the ball and stand in a relaxed way and just sense how your body feels. Notice if your body is maybe feeling more open on this side and a little bit more compressed on this side, almost like you want to lean or tip over. So oftentimes in class, when I'm teaching, we do this frequently, this exercise, and I'll look out into the class and you can see a definite tilt in their body. And then when we do the other side, it evens out. So if you can just sense your body, relax, and sense if there is a difference. Now, another thing we're going to do to test and see how it's affecting not only our feet but the rest of our body is to bend the knees and let your body just round over your legs. Let your arm hang and dangle. And look down at your hands and see if one hand is hanging lower than the other. Hands on the legs. Let the hips drop. Come back up to standing. So did you notice the difference? It is crazy how the connective tissue is just so connected in our body. By working one part of our body, it helps the rest of our body. So not only our feet were affected here, but up into our spine and even our shoulders. So we could stop there and you could walk around lopsided all day, or we can do the other foot. What do you want to do? I think we need to do the other foot, obviously, right? So that one didn't take very long, really effective, doesn't cost money, really cool thing to do. Bring the ball underneath the left foot now. Apply pressure on and off, exploring what's going on this side of your foot. Most likely it will feel different than the other foot. Hold it while you're applying pressure now and take a deep breath. Bring it up to the big toe joint. Find right underneath that joint. Apply pressure on and off. Remembering this doesn't have to be painful. Hold it in that place. Take a nice deep breath. Bring it to the next toe joint, on and off. Just working through all the other toes. Hold it, take a deep breath. Bring it back to the next toe, on and off. Hold, breathe. Next toe, on and off. Breathe. Next toe, on and off. We're at the baby toe now. Holding, taking a deep breath. Rotate it and move it back to the big toe joint, applying pressure. Glide it towards the outside of the foot. Lift it up, bring it back to the big toe joint. Apply pressure and glide it to the outside. Lift it up. Bring it back to the big toe joint and glide. And wiggle it around. So not only are we working the fascia, the connective tissue in our feet, and the tendons and the muscles, we're also working the lymphatic system, which doesn't have a pump like the heart, so it requires movement in our body. This is where it's important to move our body to help our lymphatic system, but this is another really good way to do that. So you'll need lots of water after we do this. Really important to help the kidneys flush out all the toxins that we've just released in the bloodstream. Just like having a massage, sometimes that you might feel a little nauseated after a massage or deep tissue release is because of all the toxins that are worked into the bloodstream. Your body needs help with lots of water to move that out. So you may not experience that, but some may. And just something to note. Let's continue now on this other foot. Apply pressure under the big toe joint and roll it while you're applying pressure towards the heel. Noticing those things that are in the feet. Apply pressure and glide towards the heel. Next toe joint, apply pressure, glide towards the heel. Remember, you don't have to have pain to make this effective. And then the next toe joint, apply pressure and glide. Lift it up. Next toe, we're on the baby toe now. Apply pressure and glide. Wiggle it around. Going to our favorite place in front of the heel. Just tap your toes down. Locate that dip in front of the heel bone. Apply pressure on and off. Now hold while you're applying pressure and take a few breaths. Our favorite part, pivoting the heel side to side, rolling over those tendons. Wiggle it around. Ball underneath the ball of the foot now. Curl your toes tight. Pull them back. Curl them tight. You're trying to grab the ball. Pull them back. One more time. Bring the ball under the toe joint again, right behind it. Apply pressure on and off. Just a few more places here. Move it over to the other side of the foot, just below the baby toe. Apply pressure on and off. Hold and breathe. Good. Wiggle it around. Put the ball to the side. Step off the ball. Stand neutrally, relaxed, and notice how the whole body feels now. It's really important that we take time to do this. Then our brain it remembers what has just happened physically and how we feel so that we'll want to do it again. it notices the effects of it. So let's just check it out again. Bend the knees, round the body over, let your arms hang. Notice where your hands are. Do they even out? Is it any different? Let your neck relax, hands on the legs. Let's find our way back to standing. So were you able to notice any difference? I think that is the coolest thing. This is the coolest thing you can do. You can do this every day. I encourage you to do it frequently, especially during the winter, to help you stay healthy, to help your body be movable and flexible and all that fluid exchange to our lymphatic system, good stuff. Really simple. All you need is a ball. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to spend any money. A tennis ball, just find a tennis ball. Find any kind of ball. Some of my students like a really soft ball, and if you're not tender at all on your feet, you can even use the little rubber harder balls that are small, like a jack ball, that works and that will get into the deeper parts of the foot as you advance and work into that. So I hope you enjoyed that. Find yourself a ball of some kind, a tennis ball, a pinky ball, and get working your feet. Enjoy your day.